Recovery is a process, and I think it's an ongoing, lifelong process that never really ends. And I think that it goes in cycles for people. And it's something that I would hope people engage in and know that it is possible. But you need to trust that it can happen and know that it takes work and that it can be incredibly hard work, and then you will most likely have to experience a lot of trauma to get there. But anyone with a condition is completely capable of recovery. And sometimes we might think that we're completely recovered from a condition, but unfortunately, you know, it probably doesn't go away. A lot of our conditions are permanent. So we have to do our best to sustain where we are with our recovery. And sometimes events in our life can disrupt that. But you have to try to continue with your treatment and surround yourself with supports in your life and really try to keep this holistic approach to staying healthy so that you can continue to do the things you need to do in your life. And so there might be different stages for you in recovery, and I think the older that you get, hopefully recovery becomes easier for you, and it becomes easier for you to sustain because you get to understand perhaps what medications might work for you, what types of you know, psychological methods might work for you. Is it behavioral? Is it you know, neurological? Which routes might help? You get to learn what kind of partnerships work for you. But I think that it's also deceiving to think that you're completely recovered. You can end up being disappointed as well. So it's important to really work hard to try to sustain recovery because it is a lifelong process. One of the really healthy ways to go about things is to let your supportive people know the warning signs of what happens before you end up going into these certain episodes, psychotic episodes that are unique to the condition, so that your supportive people can be prepared and aware. Hopefully they can take a preventative approach to it. A mental illness is an illness. It's a legitimate health illness. Unfortunately, I think what makes it stigmatized is that it affects the behavior, and that makes it a fine line where people feel, I think, that it's this controllable thing, and a lot of times people associate it with a mood, like it's controllable somehow, and it can be. But I think it only can be when you have support. A lot of them can't sustain relationships. They're abandoned by their parents, by their community. They're just treated very poorly and misunderstood and stigmatized. And I wish that they were treated like they should be, because it's an illness, and you wouldn't treat a cancer patient like you treat someone with a mental health illness. You wouldn't abandon your son that was undergoing chemotherapy.